Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Hyperion-Blue-GT. It's time to get ready for a Group 3 race on a rainy day on Tokyo Expressway, East Outer Loop on Gran Turismo Sports. So, looks like this is going to be able to get ready to go wet by using for the time of this race. So, looks like it's time to go in to be able to use the Ford GT LM Spec 2 test car with a UDRS library variant. Now, this is going to be able to change the balance of performance that this is going to be able to go recommend will might be able to do excellent. And also, time to change it up into the rain tires as well that this is going to get ready. So, hope this is going to be a one slippery practice will begin. And this is going to be quite very challenging. So, before enjoying watching the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out some more videos if you like. Feel free to enjoy anytime you want. So it will be able to get started for one racing entertainment. Let's go and get started. It's good to go to get ready for one wet race out there, folks, by using the Group 3 category. So this is going to get everything will be prepared for one tough challenge that this is going to be able to do for one rainy day race. It's going to get everything will be stepped in to be prepared for. So hope this is going to be able to do whenever we can, because it's going to get very slippery out there, folks, because it's going to be a very good day to be able to get ready for one tough challenge. It's going to be able to go in. So this is going to be quite very good to be excited to be able to be ready. Now let's go and get ready. So this is going to be able to make sure that this is going to be a very patient race that we're on the rainy day track condition. So it's going to be fun to be able to enjoy it. So luckily that this is going to be able to make sure that rain heavy wet tires is going to be in place for use. So just going to be able to make sure that the TCS is going to be set on 1, because it's going to be a very wet out there, because this is going to need to be ready to do it. So it's going to be able to do a lot of paces to be able to catch up. So it might be able to go in, might be able to get started. So hope this is going to be able to make sure, just be very cautious out there, because this is going to be a very slippery challenge to be able to be going on to do it. Just going to be able to take one good technique that this is going to be able to make sure throughout the times of the daily race might be able to give everything for future reminders out there for it. So let's go and get ready. This is going to be a very tough one that we might be able to be ready for this race, folks. This might be able to be ready to take for a number of laps. Might be able to go extended to be able to go on in for. Now this is going to be good to go. So it might be doing the best. So it might be able to have to take one proper balance that this is going to be able to do the best Group 3 race whenever we can. So right now, we'll be starting out in 8 laps. So this is going to be able to make sure that TCS1 is going to be set in use. So it might be able to make sure, because it might be able to have a one good balanced race. Will also to be on the rainy day track. So luckily, taking a little quick dry in the tunnels, that this is going to be able to go in on the rolling start. So let's go for it. This is going to be a very good fast Group 3 race. We'll take the challenge on the wet rain masters. Is going to be in Tokyo Expressway East. We'll do probably we can. So it's going to be a very tough epic out there that this is going to be able to go in. Now, luckily that the rain lights turns on by the active. So this is going to be able to make sure that this is going to be a very close one, that this is going to be able to take a lot of pressure to be able to go in. So it's going to be able to make sure that the first turn is going to be very rough, and oh man, this is going to be quite very bumpy out there. Just going to be able to make sure that this is going to be a very politely race, that this is going to be able to go in by the challenge. Now this is going to be able to take a lot of effort out there, that this is going to be able to stay in. It gets very hazardous whenever we have to avoid the collision. This is going to be able to take plenty of speed to be able to go there. Now it is definitely might be pretty fun to be able to have one good different condition. It definitely might be quite very precisely indeed to be able to take it in for. Now, it's going to be able to take skills, so just going to be able to keep well managing on the throttle while the drivers are definitely might be in the way to be able to make one step to proceed to overtake. Well, evenly that we just did pretty well on the first round on the Manufacturer Series. It's going to be on the Red Bull Ring by the rain because it gets pretty intense out there because it gets pretty hard to see it. So right now, this is going to be able to take the training race course that this is going to be prepared for this. I hope that this is going to be able to take a lot of speed to be able to go in, and mostly the handling that this is going to get everything well progress made to do it, because it's going to be able to take long that this is going to need to take a little bit few more chances to do. But luckily, so many penalties out there, just going to be able to make sure that this is going to be a very hard one that this is going to need to stay in on the throttle. We might get there. But the only way that this is going to be able to stay safe, that this is going to be able to make sure to be able to have a reminder during this time on the range race, putting up the TCS1 will might be able to do the work, so it will might be able to get back on track besides getting themselves spin out. Now it's going to be able to get longer, that this is going to be able to take the duration. We might be able to put ourselves to the test if we have to be able to make sure that this is going to be able to give a lot of power, that this is going to be able to go there. Gap distance will be changed up differently, so it will might be able to do it whenever we can, because it's going to be able to take one rainy day strategy of this race. It's going to be able to go in. It's going to be able to have to take that braking point. It's going to be able to take a little bit safer inside, but it's going to need to take plenty of throttle that this is going to need to take a management. We'll also to be able to put up to the test. Now it's going to be able to take some skills, just going to be able to keep it well pressured up on it, because it will might be able to do perfectly. We might be able to be on the way on to the best moment to be able to take the podium, because it will help, because it will also to be able to prevent by getting yourself to be able to avoid the collision, because it's going to be able to take a lot of skills that this is going to be able to take the new ways. We might be able to get it, because it's going to be able to take a lot of times that this is going to be able to drive fast to be able to stay steady. Now this is going to be able to stay on in on the 10th place, so well, hope this is going to be able to have this best moment to be able to get ready for a challenge, because it's going to get very wet out there. It always be able to do this every time, so just going to be able to take one good Gr.3 Ballance race. We might be able to stay on in the wet course. It's going to get very slippery out there, that this is going to need to take a little bit well managed. Just going to be able to take plenty of braking points at the last and final turn. It's going to be able to do all the way in. Now it's going to get everything, has to keep pressuring up that this is going to be able to go in, but just going to be able to make sure don't lose that balance of the grip. That will be easily spin out after the last turn, so just going to be able to go straight. Try not to get loosened up on the edge. That will might cause the gap distance will might go increase, and the behind will also decrease, that this is going to be able to do all the way in. Now this is going to be able to take the demonstration by the example, but if only any other GT players have already took the first ones to be able to start out by this week. So looks like this is going to get everything has to be suited up and be ready for this one. Now this is going to be able to take the stopping point nearly approaching at the 15th marker board, so it will might be able to perform the inside turn. We'll be able to make it nice and safe. But it's going to be able to take slower turns, that this is going to be able to do it besides the braking point. It's going to be able to do well properly by the position. It's going to get everything in. Now just going to be able to press continuing on, and then it's going to be able to take the straight curves. It's going to be able to go in. But it's going to be able to do precisely. We'll also to explain the comparison of the dry condition and the wet condition. Is going to be able to show difference, that this is going to be able to go all the way in. That should probably be able to do for one good straight, to be able to take one good inside turns. We might be able to make it nice and steady, to be able to take everything pressuring in, to be able to be well maintained. But I hope so. But we will do the best whenever we can, because it's going to be able to take a lot of rope to be able to go in by the basics. Just going to be able to make sure that this is going to be able to be very cautious. Just going to be able to make that turn. Just going to be able to go at the 200 marker board, that this is going to be able to take the early position. Now, back in 10th place, just going to be able to step up. So just going to be able to keep well managing on the throttle, that this is going to need to take it in for. So it might be able to make it in onto the 14th halfway. It's going to be able to take a little bit more time. So we might be able to see how it goes, because it's going to get very fast out there to be able to go in on the dry tunnel and go straight out onto the wet. It's going to be able to take a lot of pressuring in to be able to give the moments. Will also to be able to enjoy it. But it's going to get very slippery, as always, that this is going to need to do it. It's going to be able to putting up a 150 marker board, that this is going to be able to go early by the turns. It's going to be able to do well, perfectly mapped it to be able to take, because it's going to get everything has to slow and steady to be able to take the inside. Just going to be able to give a helpful tip that this is going to be able to do your own skills. Will might be able to help out to be able to make your way on to first place to the win. It's going to get everything has to do it. Now this is going to be able to take that turn. Is going to get everything has to be demonstrated that this is going to be able to do perfectly as well. Now that should do it. This is going to be giving a little bit moderate turns. Is going to be able to work well, that this is going to be able to show the differences, that this is going to be able to do perfectly we can get. Okay, looks like we got one driver just got spun out, getting too slippery on it. Just going to be able to make sure that this is going to be able to do perfectly planned to be able to go in. Stop at the 200 marker board, that this is going to be your breaking point. So even sure that this is going to be able to have one demonstration, that this is going to be able to help out. So maybe after this race, this one might be able to give a little bit Group 3 demonstration for taking a practice race, that this is going to get everything Group started for. That might help. During this time of this week's daily race, Will might be able to help out, or even later on, that this is going to be able to have our chances to be able to get ready to race again on the rainy day course on Tokyo Expressway. Now we're moving on in the fifth lap, folks, so this is going to be able to take a lot more speeding chance to be able to go there. Just keep raising up the throttle. Will might go in straight until this is going to be doing good and well to be successful. Will might be able to give a good, well achieved skill. Now it's going to be able to take a little bit more pressure to be able to take one good patient race. Will might be able to do one good shot at this. Is going to be able to take. Now luckily this is going to be able to see how one driver did pretty well to be able to learn and demonstrate by the examples of a rainy day racing skills. Is going to get everything going on. Okay, here comes the hard part. Easier said than done. So this is definitely might be able to make sure to avoid the wall collision by a penalty. Well, that was definitely might be pretty hard to be able to see it. So it's going to be able to take a lot of stability. We might be able to make sure, folks, take a good balanced position. We might be able to keep a full pressure on the throttle. Now it's going to get very tougher. It gets that this is going to need to be able to make sure that watch the sportsmanship rating, and there it goes. Looks like a 5-second penalty has been triggered in the curve. So this is going to be able to have a one good collision to be collided. well, it's going to be able to take a little bit more effort chance to do it. So just going to be able to make sure for one good reminder, because try not to do any collisions during this time on the rainy day race is going to get very challenging, so we have to be able to be prepared. Now, this is going to be able to move on in onto the next lap, so this is going to be able to take a lot of pressure to be able to take plenty of throttle chances. It's going to be able to go in, but mostly important, do the best clean race whenever you can during the time in the rainy day race. It will also to be able to avoid the penalty, that this is going to be a very hard way to be able to avoid it, because that will might be able to start over again if you really want to take the chances to be able to go on, to be able to have a nice and better race. Will also to do everything you could, so it's going to be able to take a lot of practice. Will might be able to do excellent, that this is going to be able to take a lot of skills. Will might be able to go in. Now, luckily, this is going to be able to take plenty of few bumps out there, so just please be gentle during this race, that this is going to be able to take a little bit more time. Will go in, because it's going to take a lot of pressure, that this is going to need to take a lot of work. Will go in. Now, looks like this is going to get everything needs to be able to press on to do it. There you go. This is going to be able to take safer skills and then take a lot of speed, that this is going to need to go in. But it's going to be very hard to be able to go in to do it. But it is going to be able to take plenty of overtakes, that this is going to be able to do the chance. Okay, here it comes in. Oh man, that was a spin out. Okay, there it goes. So this is going to be having 8 minutes of the time, so that was a poor effort attempted to be able to have this rainy day accident moment that might be cause us to be able to have a spin out. So this is going to be able to be on the way on the penalty line to be able to force the speed reduction to slow down. Now it's going to be dropped down on any position, so we have to be able to be reasonable, that this is going to be able to take a lot of racing skill work. We might be able to do it. Now, just going to be able to regain the speed, that this is going to be able to press on. Oh boy, just going to be able to have to keep it well stabilized, that this is going to be able to do it, but that was too close to get a little bit spun out on it. Just going to be able to take a lot of throttle, that this is going to need to go in. Now, this is going to need to take a little bit more challenging to be able to stay straight and not on this run. Okay, that should probably be able to do it, so good thing that this is going to be, of course, looks like got 1 second penalty to be able to get very collided for it. So just going to be able to make sure this is going to be a very tough race, that this is going to get everything, has to be able to take the risk. We might be able to go in. Now, this is going to be able to get back on the top position. It's going to be able to go in as much as possible. Now, it is definitely like a dry condition by using Gr.4 Race, folks. So it is definitely might be able to have a Gr.3 race. It's going to be on the rainy day track, but it's going to be a very hard time, that this is going to be costing a lot of hard efforts, that this may also to be occur to be able to take 6 seconds of every time of this race by, well, it is going to be pretty hard to be able to master the rainy day condition on by using the Gr.3 category. It is going to be very challenging to do it. So it's going to be taking well managing speed to be able to go there, but it will might cost to be able to take plenty of work, that this is going to need to go in there. But we're still learning, but everybody has to learn to do this, because it's going to be a very hard time to be able to make sure that this is going to be able to take plenty of seconds of the time of the race, because it's going to be a very hard time to do it. So it will might be able to make sure that this is going to be able to have a PSA segment moment. So it's going to be able to make sure, because it's going to be a very challenging, important to let you guys know, because rainy day tracks on every race by having a Group 3 challenge, because it's going to be a very hard, difficult, so we have to be able to be ready to learn. Now, this is just going to be able to go back in and, oh man, that was a spun out. Yeah, that happens all the time. That might be able to have a loosen up moment on this one. Can't believe it, that was a very hard effort performance to be able to go in there. Now, let's just going to go in and proceed to the final lap of the race. So, bet that this is going to be a first one. This challenge is going to be quite well risked to do it, but it is definitely might be quite a messy race out there, because it's going to get everything asked to do it. But no matter how every other racer leaves the lobby, and then this is going to be able to drop down a few driver rating by giving the effect. Now, this is going to be a very hard time that this is going to need to take a lot of effort of this race, because, well, with all due respect, because taking a Group 3 race by having a rainy day track is going to be a very slippery challenge that this is going to be able to take a lot of risk. But it also happens to be end up in last place, because it'll have to be able to go again, because it needs to take a lot of practice that this is going to be able to go in. So be remembered, you guys, because whenever you're going to race on Tokyo Expressway East Outer Loop during the time of the daily race, this is going to get very hard to difficult to be able to make sure, because it might be able to get very stabilized that this is going to need to take for it. So every time for taking a lot of video segments, so it always going to be able to go in for taking a last minute, because it might be able to miss out later on in the future. So, well, it might be able to give a little bit time to be able to go there, but it is definitely might be needs to do a lot of work to be able to go in there. Now, let's just going to be able to force the speed reduction. We might be able to slow down, and then this is going to be able to go all the way in. Well, luckily, that was definitely might be got spun out on it. Well, it was okay, but we still might need to do a lot of practice, folks, because it takes plenty of work that this is going to need to take. So it was definitely might be fine. So it might be able to go again to be able to be ready for the next time of this race. But it is pretty slippery out there on the track, folks, because it gets a lot of mistakes out there, because it's going to be giving a lot of risk that this is going to need to take a lot of effort, skills to do it. Unfortunately, that this is going to be quite giving a lot of hard times to do it. So if anybody could probably able to have a clean race bonus as a survival earnings, so that's how it's interesting to be able to do whenever we get. Well, it is definitely might be a good race, alright, but it might need to do a lot of patience during the time on the rainy day race. Is going to be quite very challenging to go there. Well, luckily we almost had it, because it gets plenty of mistakes by the red dot on the penalty to be able to get a curve for. So be sure to do the best clean race whenever you can, whenever you're racing on the rainy day track on Tokyo Expressway every time. So it will be able to take a challenge that this is going to be able to take a lot of handling, and few other speeding moment might be able to take a lot of pressure to be able to keep it well maintained on any position whenever you're at. So every time that this is going to be able to take a lot of basics that we still trying to learn on the rainy day conditions on any tracks. So this is going to be able to add it in, that this is going to need to take a lot of practice whenever we can. So taking the rainy day race on Tokyo Expressway East is going to be very challenging to be able to make sure, because we have to be able to do one good patient racing at a given time is going to be able to take a lot of pressure, will also to be able to keep it well maintained. So be sure, as always, try not to get slammed on the walls or get spin out by taking a penalty will be occur. Well, it's going to be a very difficult that we might be able to do the best whenever we can. So do whenever you can during the time on the rainy day race, so it might be able to help out whenever you're going to have to take a lot of practice. So be prepared for this one, so you'll do the best, and then we will always going to be able to stay clean on the time of the Group 3 race. We'll also to stay balanced and keep up with a good speed might give temporarily. Alright folks, glad that you really enjoyed this race. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and bell for notification uploads, and the links on the description down below if you want to see more. I'll be seeing you guys next time for continuing on the daily race on Gran Turismo Sport, and I'll see you guys later. Keep on racing, stay cool.